All right. What is going on, beautiful people? Ontarian here, the Passive Income Guru. I wanted to do a little quick video here and talk about risks. Now, I'm not going to do all the talking. I'm going to actually have the late, great Jim Rohn put some wisdom into you today. And this actual video was published 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago. So I'm going to show you a short clip on YouTube. It is going to really help to shift your mindset. And I titled this particular live feed, "The Biggest Risk in Life, the biggest risk you would ever take is not taking a risk at all." The biggest risk you would ever take in life is never taking a risk. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and play the video. Before I do that, if you're checking in, let me know where you are checking in from and how you guys are doing today. I'm going to check my audio, so bear with me just a second while I do this here. All right. Hey, Beverly, what is going on? Odonis, Margaret, thank you guys for checking in. The doctor's in the house. What's up, OG? Amen. What's up, man? I see you making moves out there, man. The crypto trading that you're doing, man. Congratulations, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Luther Perry, what's up? What's going on? What's up, Juan? Glad to have you guys aboard. Good, man. Hey, we'll get together, brother, in 2018, man. I want to get my hands on some crypto trading. So things are going great, brother. I can't complain. I cannot complain at all, man. Can't complain at all. What's up, Luther? There's my wife. There's my lovely bride. Hey, baby, how you doing? I'm going to play a clip. The clip is actually, let me make sure this is the right one here. Yep, this is the one. It's actually 11 minutes long, so it is definitely well worth it. I just came back from getting some tires from my wife's car, and I was listening to this on my earphones, and I tell you what, the first 30 seconds blew me away. So it's going to be mind shifting. Again, remember this quote I just told you. The biggest risk in life, the biggest risk you will ever take in life is not taking a risk at all. If you don't take risk, you don't know what's going to be on the other side. Waking up in the morning is a risk, folks, as you will see in just a second. Amen. Yes, sir. Always good to see you. Yeah, man. Good to see you too, brother. What's up, Nathan? All the way from the Philippines. Shelly, how you doing? Margaret, how are you doing, sister? Hey, Luther. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm finally in the married club, brother. That's right. All right, let me play this clip. I'm going to share my screen, and you guys are going to love this. So bear with me just a second. Bear with me just a second. Okay. So here's the actual YouTube clip, and I'm going to go ahead and enlarge my screen. What's up, Orlando? All right, here we go. So get ready to hear some wisdom here, folks. Coach Darren, what's going on? All right, here we go, folks.
Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it. Here's the next attitude disease. Over-caution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right. That's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. Here's the next attitude disease. We're almost through with this motley list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The next one is pessimism. Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly. This is the poor guy who looks through the window, doesn't see the sunset. He sees the specks on the window. And this is the poor guy, right, who rushes up, takes such leave of his senses. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb, he doesn't know. All he needs 1. He's got 5. To the pessimist, the glass is always half empty. To the optimist, the glass is half full. Why would the same measure affect people 2 different ways? Answer, it all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. There's a subject we don't have time to get into tonight called better thinking habits. One of the major things Shove taught me when I met him, he said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shove taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. He quoted me a Bible phrase that says, as you think, so you become. How awesome. When he talked about poor thinking habits, he had me. I used to start the day reading the morning newspaper. I mean, you can believe that or not. I'd get a cup of coffee and read the paper. I'd load up on wars and riots and murders and stabbings and killings and bank robberies and muggings and car wrecks and tragedies. I'd even read the back pages. I seem to like that stuff for some weird reason. I'd load up on all that, and then I'd start the day. You can imagine the kind of days I used to have. You walk around on your financial needs. They call you economic peewee. The guy says, I want to be a great leader. Wonderful. The first thing we do is follow him to his house. When we get there, we walk in and check his library, number 1. Somebody says, well, why check his library? The reason is because what a man reads pours massive ingredients into his mental factory, and the fabric of his life is built from those ingredients. You would not believe what some people have got in their house to read. You would not believe. One of the best dressed up words I know for a lot of it is trash. Can you imagine dumping a barrel of trash into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life? It can't be done. You might as well try making a cake with cement. The kids back in Danbury, Connecticut, high school, they're asking me questions one day. I'm talking to the kids. Kids got good questions these days. One of them said to me, Mr. Rohn, how do you build the good life? I said, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Here's how you build anything. Select the right ingredients, keep out the wrong ingredients, and it starts with thought. Everything starts with thought. So you must be wise and careful what you think about, because that starts everything. You got to be wise and careful. I asked the kids, what would happen if somebody dropped sugar in my coffee? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if somebody dropped strychnine in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 1. Life is both sugar and strychnine. You gotta be careful. I said, what if my worst enemy drops in the sugar? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if my best friend, even by accident, drops in the strychnine? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 2, watch your coffee. You got to be careful. See, it doesn't matter who hands you the bad stuff. It doesn't matter where you get the bad stuff. It'll still do its damage on your bank account, wherever you get it. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the results. Okay, here's the last disease, and we're through with this list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The last subject is very brief. The last disease, but this one is deadly. Engage in this one, indulge in it even slightly, and you might as well forget the future, because it's going to forget you. Complaining, crying, whining, griping, a Bible word called murmuring. See, that'll ace your future. Spend 5 minutes complaining, and you have wasted 5. And you may have begun what's known as economic cancer of the bone. Surely they will soon haul you off into a financial desert and there let you choke on the dust of your own regret. I hope I said that well, so you won't forget. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel of Old Testament fame. Typical of us all, their story just happened to get in the book. Story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. And now they're heading for the promised land. Remember the story? Heading for the promised land. Tragedy of the story, they never got there. Reason. From day one, they started to complain. They griped about the water. They griped about the weather. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They griped about the leadership. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too hot, too difficult, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it, trip canceled. or something like that. The story says they died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Which I think means two things. Indulge in this long enough, you get your future canceled. And I guess it also means even God himself can only take so much. Okay. Just be on the lookout of the things that can destroy all the good you start. The war is on. And this evening, tomorrow, mentally, personally, socially, economically, you got to make sure you're winning the war. And this is part of it.
All right, folks. Lots of great wisdom from the late, great Jim Rohn. Did you guys enjoy that clip? It's one of my favorites. And I tell you what, guys, he hit on a lot of points in this video, a lot of great points. The last thing he talked about was complaining, murmuring, you know, just the thought of complaining, you know, it will paralyze you. You know, we can paralyze ourselves mentally. And if you're paralyzed mentally, you're going to be paralyzed physically. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to put yourself in a wheelchair, which could happen if you stretch yourself out enough. But if you're paralyzed mentally, then all four of your limbs are not going to take you to where you want to go. You see, complaining is a deadly mindset, or as Jim said it, an attitude disease, pessimism. You have to be optimistic. Don't be a pessimist. Be optimistic. No matter what's going on around you, folks, be a pessimist. The other thing is this: remove yourself from negative people. Negative people will paralyze you in your tracks. And unfortunately, a lot of times your family and your friends will paralyze you in your tracks. They will speak words over you, and you'll start to believe those words. Maybe you can, relate to what I'm saying. Maybe people are speaking in your life right now. You're trying to walk into your destiny. But they are speaking these negative words into your life, and you're believing them. They are paralyzing you. They're paralyzing you. You see? So the biggest risk in life is not taking a risk. It's not taking a risk. You wake up in the morning, you're taking risks. You get in your car, your vehicle, you're taking a risk. You have children, you're taking a risk. You get married, you're taking a risk. You see? You go to college. Is it a guarantee you're going to land that super duper 6-figure job when you get that degree? Of course not. It's not a guarantee. Is it a guarantee if you start a business, you're going to be successful? No, it's not. That's why it's called a risk. But the most important thing here is actually not the risk. It's actually what is going on in your mindset. What are you believing? What are you allowing to penetrate into your psyche? That's the big thing here. That's what Jim Rohn was really trying to have these people to understand. What are you letting in your head? Okay. Me personally, I know people that look at the news all the time. There's no good news on the news. You look at the newspaper, there's no good news. There's good things going on in the world, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of times you're going to hear 90% bad news than good news. You see? I don't look at the news for a reason, because I know it's going to mess with my spirit. It's going to mess with my psyche. Even if I know that bad stuff is going on around me every day, I know what world I live in. You see, I'm not going to allow that to penetrate into my psyche. So moving forward, one of the remedies that I use, I wake up every day in gratitude, folks. I wake up every day thankful. Thankful. I don't care what type of day I had the day before. I wake up every single day thankful. And I am content. I don't need nothing. You see, I don't complain. I buried the words literally in 2009, January 21st, which is my birthday. 2009, over 8 years ago, I buried the words I can't. Going on 10 years now. Okay. So you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to do what it's all about. What's getting, Allie, you said, what's getting in your coffee? Is that what's getting? Well, actually, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee, Alan. There's some supplements that I take in the morning that gets me going. All natural, of course. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that video really gave you some insight on some wisdom on how to move forward in your life. It's not all about business. This pertains to life and business, you see. And check out Jim Rohn. There's a lot of videos of Jim Rohn out there. There's other personal development teachers out there that has some great content. So, listening to one of these videos per day will help to change your mindset. It'll really help to move out that old furniture and put in some new furniture. And then you can get on your way to achieving whatever you want to achieve. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, which a lot of you probably are already doing, and you've done it and you're striving to help other people do it, then, show folks how to do it. Show them, hey, it's going to take a mindset to get there. It's going to take a positive mindset. Optimism. Get around people who's doing it. Get around folks who are talking positive all the time. And guess what? It's going to rub off on you. It is contagious. That's what I did back in 2008. When I came online, I partnered with a few individuals who thought like I thought, or thought like I wanted to think. And I spent 3 years with these folks. And all we did was we read books, like Napoleon Hill and Science of Getting Rich and all those, good authors. We read those books and we mastermind. And I spent 3 whole years with those people. Do you think that changed the way I thought? Of course. I wouldn't go back and change that for the world, because it's allowed me to shift over into a new realm of where I am now, mindset wise. So it's all about connecting with people who are talking positive, getting rid of the old furniture in your life, and actually moving forward in your destiny. That's what it's all about. Okay, guys. So thanks for watching. Thank you all for coming on. Alan said, that's what he says. What's being put in your coffee? That's right. Yeah, that's right. Sorry about that, AD. Yeah, what Jim was saying in the video, talking about what's being put in your coffee, what's being put in your head. That's correct. What's being put in your head. He was making an implication of what, the coffee was pertaining to your head, to your thought process, etc. You see, so powerful message. Very, very powerful message. So, folks, thanks for coming on. Hope you guys are having a great day. And talk to you soon. God bless. Enjoy.